He has a more than 17 years of experience working in some of the leading national and Indian companies. Mr. Jadhav is currently working as an associate director in library and knowledge repository at Khaitan and Company, one of India's leading corporate law firm, and he is leading the knowledge repository function on a pan-India basis. Mr. Jadhav has previously had a stint of UPG College of Management, Thakur Polytechnic, Ocean Divine Center, and University of Mumbai. Mr. Jadhav is passionate about technology, information, and knowledge sharing, and its impact on both the corporate and the academic sector. Sir has its core domain area, including strategy of data, information management, libraries and data management, knowledge management to personal knowledge management, search strategies for information retrieval, smart tools for teaching and learning domain, e-contents, library marketing, IPR and copyright, plagiarism, which is our today's topic. Sir is also expert in cyber laws and cyber threats. Considering his academic, he has graduated from in commerce stream from Mumbai University in 1999. He has completed his Masters of Library and Information Science in 2005 from Department of Library and Information Science, Mumbai University with second rank. Mr. Jadhav has completed his post-graduation diploma in Digital Library and Information Management from the prestigious Tata Institute of Social Science University. He has also qualified UGC NET with the subject of Library and Information Science. Mr. Jadhav is registered as research scholar in one of our primary university of Indira Gandhi National Open University with the domain of library science. Sir is nominated as a member of a board of studies in library and information science from Vidya Prasarak Mandal, KG Joshi College of Art and NG Bedekar College of Commerce, Autonomous. Sir has a publication of more than 25 research papers in national, international seminars and conferences, and has also won twicely the Best Paper Award for his research. Sir also has various awards mentioning valuable resource person in LIS domain under the domain of LIS Award initiated by Vertex Research and Technology, Tamil Nadu. Vishwabhan Pratishthan Mumbai has awarded COVID Yoddha Award 2021. Paul's Harris Fellow Award 2021 from Rotary International. He is also recipient of Top 50 Eminent Librarian in India for year 2020, initiated by Lex Learning Solution Private Limited. Sir was also awarded on National Library Day a Dynamic Librarian Legal Domain Award 2020 by Levens Technologies Private Limited. Khaitan and Company Professional Development and Branding Award 2019-2020 was declared under his performance appraisal announcement. He has also received the Gratitude Award for differently working LIS professionals in Maharashtra on account of World Disability Day, 3rd December, was initiated by Softex Solutions and Services Pune. Sukhdev Singh Award 2016 for differently abled LIS professional working in India, announced by Gandhi Peace Foundation, New Delhi. Lifetime Achievement Award 2016 announced on account of World Disability Day by ABS Sanstha Ambarnath. He's also been awarded as a Special Work Award 2017 Library and Educational Library by Kaikadi Samaj Yuvat Sangatna Pune. Sir has been worked as a solo resource person for 4 different workshops on various topics, including online advanced search, librarianship, smart research tool, etc. He has delivered more than 60 sessions in COVID-19 under the banner of Khaitan and Company. Also been a resource person at UGC refresher course organized by Human Resource Department of 4 different universities: Maharshi Dayanand Saraswati Goa University, Gujarat University of Mumbai. Sir has attended various national and international conferences and also been a resource person and speaker in international conferences. Sir have been invited at various places as a guest speaker, included by the government of Maharashtra, by the Young Library and Information Science Professionals by YCMOU. He was also invited as a panelist for the different issues in LIS domain. Sir is also acting as news service provider for Adinet e-News Digest. So it is our great pleasure to have such a renowned personality and such an experienced resource person among with us for guidance of our staff. I, Professor Lokesh, take this opportunity to welcome you, sir, on behalf of Research Cell of Ashoka Center for Business and Computer Studies. So I take this opportunity, sir, to kindly request you to initiate your session.
Thank you so much, Lokesh, sir. First of all, I would also like to thank the management for inviting me and all the participants to participate, to have active participation. And definitely we'll have a very short session on the how a researcher can take, utmost care of their publication in case of plagiarism and copyright. And definitely my session is totally focused on the plagiarism because actually their expectation is very much on the plagiarism. That's why I'm concentrating on the plagiarism. Second thing, it will be a very good if we have an interactive session, because only talking from my side it won't work. So it's a kind request, whenever there is any question, whenever there is any submission from your side, please be open and you can disturb me at any time. Lokesh sir, can you please allow me to share the screen?
Yes, sir, it is allowed.
Can anyone confirm whether it is visible?
Yes, it is visible.
So a topic for today is a copy theft, a plagiarism, an effective tool to stop unethical copying. Definitely, we had a very good sense of humor since our childhood, because our parents take utmost care that we shouldn't take anyone else. अगर वो चीज हमारा नहीं है, तो then we shouldn't touch it. This is the way we had taught in our culture, family, or in the society also. The same thing it is applicable to the academic. The same thing it is applicable to the research unit also. So whenever if you are taking something, there are certain rules and regulation we have to follow. There are certain ethical way we can do it. So throughout the session we will talk about how we can do it in a right way, how we can what measures we can take. So today we are talked here in the faculty development program, which is organized by the research cell of Ashoka Center Business and Computer Studies, Nashik. The topic for the today is copy theft, plagiarism, and effective tool to stop unethical copying. Myself, Prahlad Jadhav, working as an associate director in one of the leading law firm. I'm very proud to say you that when Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar was writing the constitution, in his team, in the search teams, there was a person whose name is Dr. Devi Prasad Ketan, and he is our founder member. And our firm had a international level presence. We had an office in Kolkata, Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai. Recently, we had an office in Chennai and an abroad office that is in Singapore. So we are in the legal domain from last more than 100 years. And I am with the Ketan and Company 16 years in a legal domain. So it's a very basic things I have to know, legal things at least 50 to 60%. Definitely I'm not a lawyer, because they don't want any more lawyer. They want a good librarian. That's why they didn't ask me to go for the lawyership. So World Intellectual Property Day, every year we celebrate on the 26th April. It is not only celebrated in India, it is celebrated across the world. You can understand the value of intellectual property. So the same way we have to value everything which is really connected with the intellectual. There may be two types of asset generally, a tangible asset and intangible asset. As you're the someone from your side, maybe from the commerce side, so he knows that. My basic graduation is from the commerce, so I know a little bit about this, tangible assets and intangible assets. So that intellectual property, why I talked about the tangible and intangible, because intangible assets related with the intellectual property. So intangible properties, types of intangible properties. First one is industrial properties, and the second one is copyrights and other relating acts. So is there any key difference between copyright and plagiarism? This is just a simple question to you. There is any difference between copyright and plagiarism, or it is both are the same? What is your take? Anyone guess from your side? They both are same or they are both different? Just yes or no? Yes. Can anyone from your side can let me know? Is there any difference between the copyright and plagiarism?
Faculties
on,
kindly
yes.
unmute and speak. If you or you may raise your hand.
Sir, personally, I think copyright and plagiarism is different.
Agree with you, Ankit sir. Definitely, it is there is a quite difference between both the terms, and I will in the first session, in the first part of the session, where I'll talk about the copyright, what is copyright, and how it is differentiated from the plagiarism. So copyright, whenever we find such symbols, it means we don't copy it. If you want to copy, then we need to take the permission, we need to give the credit and everything. There is a certain process to copying contents which is covered under the copyright. So copyright and plagiarisms are different. So we'll just talk about first copyright. In 3 or 4 slides, I'll cover up all the concepts of the copyright. Whenever I remember my school days, whenever I'm copying from my friends' notes or my friends' exam papers. So best memory of school life, notes copy करते समय ये क्या लिखा है बे, जो समझ में आ रहा है वो लिख, बाकी ऐसे ही डिजाइन बना दे. So this is the thing we had learned कि copying is not a big deal for us in the school days, in the college days. But when we came in the profession, when we know about the legal framework, that times we
हॅलो
Yes, ma'am. I think
सर आवाज येत नाही ना.
नेटवर्कचा इश्यू आहे त्यांच्याकडनं. माईक बंद होतं
येस
त्यांचं.
I'll just share the.
Yes, sir.
I'm so sorry. There was some technical glitch from my side.
Yes, sir.
I'll reshare it. Yes, I'll reshare it.
So if there is a bandwidth problem, you may switch off your video.
There was a power failure at my end.
Okay,
so I'm
sir.
using my mobile net data.
Okay, sir.
So I'll just switch off my video
Yes,
for
sir.
time being.
Yes, sir.
Whether slides are visible to you, please confirm.
Yes,
Yes,
sir, it
sir.
is visible.
Thank you so much. So when we were in the schools, that time when we copy from our friend's notebook or when we copy from our friend's exam papers, that time these jokes is really implicated, and at that moment we don't realize the value of the copyright. But now when we working as a professionals, and specifically when I'm working in a law firm, where many of the time I get a request from my professional colleagues, those who are working in the academic library, they face such type of problem in terms of copyright and fair use. Whether we are doing this for our college purpose, we are doing this for our student purpose, we are doing this for our user purpose, whether this is against the copyright law or whether this is applicable. So such type of queries are now getting. But when I was in the school, college life and school life, even I didn't care about the copyright. I copied everything there. But now I really feel the value of the copyright. So copyright is an intellectual property. Basically, it is an exclusive right for whom? For the creators. Yes, for the creators. For the creators, those who are associated with whom? Literary, musical, and other literary artistic work. Yes, the creators, those who have a exclusive right. The creators, those who are concerned with the literary, musical, and artistic works. Then how we can regulate the copyright at the international level? There are two important conventions. One first convention is Dearborn Convention, which was introduced in 1986 till 1886 to 1986, and the another one is Bern Convention. These two conventions are regulate the copyright at the international level. So somebody from your side maybe asked, you have talked about the international level. What is about the Indian? What is about the Indian level? Yes, my dear friends, we are also had certain legislation, certain rules and regulation. But before that, I would like to introduce in India where the copyright works. Definitely for the literary work, yes, academic textbooks, then academics articles, academic databases. Where there is such type of work is there, it is covered by the copyright. Then dramatic work, yes, it is when there is a play, when there is a natak vagere, they are also covered under the copyright. So friends, it is not exclusive only for the literary work, it is also for the dramatic work. Then if you ask me, is there any provision for the musical work? Yes, my dear friend, there is a provision for the musical works, and most of the times which is really helpful for the creators to get their work protected. Again, in the work of artistic work, it can be covered. In the work of sound recording, it can be covered, yes. And cinematic film industry also had a very good impact regarding the copyrights, so they can also use such type of protection for their initiative and for their films and everything. And last but not least, the computer programs. Yes, in today's world, there are n number of computer programs are programming, and that is also can be protected under the Copyright Act. So if I talked about different types of material which can be protected under the copyright, so how India is governing the copyright? Friends, a very old act, when it was introduced in 1957, the term of that act is Copyright Act 1957. Yes, it was introduced in the year 1957. So from your side, you may ask, it is very old. Is there any amendment? Yes, my dear friends, there are a lot of amendments. Yes, from time to time, from time to time, all the stakeholders, those who are really in the impact of copyright, they had come forward and they had put up their suggestion, and there are a lot of amendments are there. So the amendments is as follows. Yes, the first amendment which came after 1957, those are 1983 May first amendment. There was because due to broadcasting technology and reprographic technology, and we had a broadcasting and reprographic technology in 1983. That time we had first amendment in the Copyright Act 1957. Then again in the next year, 1984, yes, my dear friend, in the very next year, due to technology like printing and recording of broadcast programming, we had another amendment in the Copyright Act 1957. Then after 10 years, or a decade, yes, it takes a decade's time to go for the another amendment, and it was due to medical textbook in the year 1994. And in 1999, regarding due to the trade aspects, there was an amendment. So these four amendments are very crucial and very important. But my dear friends, in India, till date, there was a very important amendment which happens in the year 2012. Yes, which is really a most substantial amendment in terms of copyright. Yes, that amendment called as Copyright Amendment Act 2012 is the most substantial. And it is because of internet technology, because of WWW. So that's why these amendments are very crucial. Right, sir? So there is a difference. If I ask you, yes, there is a quite a lot of difference between the copyright and plagiarism. So we will check how it is how there is a difference between the copyright and plagiarism. See, plagiarism, using someone else's words without giving them credit. Using someone else's work without giving them credit. In copyright, using someone else's work without permission. हम permission नहीं लेते हैं वहाँ पे, credit भी दे देते हैं लेकिन use कर लेते हैं, तो वो copyright में आता है. Then definitely other things typically deals with the words written or spoken. In terms of plagiarism, it typically deals with the words written or spoken. In copyright, it includes words, pictures, video, music, etc. Both print and online, published and unpublished. So this is concerned about the copyright, where it includes words, pictures, video, music, etc. Both print and online, published and unpublished. In plagiarism, legally but highly unethically. It is illegal but highly unethical. In copyright, it is illegal. in plagiarism can lead to zero credit in the assignment or being kicked out of the college. In copyright can lead to court fines, jail term. So this difference may be, this difference may be due to this difference are if you're talking, it's real technical terms. But if you ask me, copyright is a legal term, plagiarism is not a legal term. Copyright is a civil crime, plagiarism is an academic crime. Copyright, another use of someone else's creative work. Plagiarism, claiming or appearing to claim ownership of someone else's creative work. In copyright, monetary damages for infringement. In plagiarism, not punishable by the government, but maybe by academic sanction. So if you ask me in simple term, this is the difference. Copyright, legal term, plagiarism, not a legal term. So, copyright is a civil crime, yes, and plagiarism is an academic crime. Copyright is a unauthorized use of someone else's work. Plagiarism is a claiming or appearing to be claim ownership of someone else's creative work. Monetary damage for infringement, yes, in copyright, not punishable by the government in plagiarism, but academic council or academic sanction can be effective. So till now it is clear, colleagues, or I'm going fast. This is fine, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, very fine.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So we will talk about the plagiarism, but before that, I will just share a story with you, all of you. There was two friends, Mr. A and Mr. B. They are very good friends. But B tried to steal a cat of A. He didn't take the permission and he was taking a cat of A, and B got caught. And B learned a lesson, a valuable lesson. What the lesson he learned? B learned an important lesson. What? You can't just take somebody's cat without asking for permission. It means you can take, but you need to take a permission. This is the first story. This is the first part of the story. What is the next part? When B went out, people in the society, they ask, whose cat is? So B just didn't tell the truth. He just mentioned that it is my own. That is again wrong. And when A come out, and again people asking to the A, whose cat is? That time A raises hand that it is my cat. So B got again caught. So what lesson B got from this second part of the story? Tell the truth to the people. You have to tell the truth. Yes, I had taken this from someone else's work. If you did that, if you did it, then there is no harm. But if you didn't, and if you got caught, then there may be a problem for you. The last part of the story, it is okay to borrow. Yes, it is okay to borrow other people's words, pictures, stories, as long as you ask the first to get the permission. And second one is to give credit to the person from whom you are borrowing. Yes, it is okay. If you are taking a permission, it is okay. Second thing, if you are giving credit, then also. So this is the, a lessons from this story that you can take it. Yes, with permission, you can take it. With when you give them credit, then there is no harm in terms of plagiarism. What is plagiarism then? In short, we will check what is the definition, how it is came arise. In general term, plagiarism, what can be called as. So we'll just check one by one. So plagiarism equal to kidnapper. Yes, the word plagiarism comes from the Latin plagiarius, meaning kidnapper. In short, usko kidnapper bolte. Yes. So if you kidnapping someone, then definitely there is a crime. So the word self-explanatory, you can't do that without taking permission, without giving credit. You can't do that. If you did it, then there will be problem for you in terms of academic council, in terms of academic sanction. So in simple terms, if someone asks me, can you define in a very simple terms what is plagiarism? The act of presenting another's works. I am presenting another's works, ideas as my own. In simple terms, the act of presenting another's works or ideas as your own. That is wrong. That is called plagiarism. So definition, according to Merriam-Webster dictionary, what is the definition of plagiarism? The act of using another person's words or ideas without giving credit to that person. It's a very clear definition. The act of using another person's words or ideas without giving credit. हम credit नहीं दे रहे और उसका काम use कर रहे. That is called plagiarism. If you talk about the second definition, which is quoted by Peirce and Schild in 2013 at page number 1, plagiarism is a specific form of cheating. Yes, it is a cheating and is generally defined as a presenting someone else as your own. Yes, it is a cheating and it is generally defined as a presenting someone else's work. It means you are cheating, you're doing theft, you're doing, chori. That is called plagiarism. So in general, what is plagiarism? It is a theft. आप चोरी कर रहे हो, अगर आपने परमिशन नहीं लिया, अगर आपने क्रेडिट नहीं दिया, तो आपने उसका चोरी किया है. Plagiarism is a cheating. इसको बिना बताए अगर आप ले रहे हो तो चीटिंग है. तो चीटिंग मतलब definitely there will be problem for you. And if you got caught, the result will be failing grade or 0. Yes, my dear friends, there are different level of punishments available in the UGC regulations if you got caught. So be aware of this. Be aware of this. Otherwise, it will be a problematic situation for you, my dear friends. It will be a problematic situation for you. So what consider plagiarism? क्या होता है plagiarism? कभी कभी काउंट किया जा सकता है. Presenting another's work as your own, using words and ideas. अगर किसी और का काम आप खुद आपका खुद का बोल के प्रेजेंट कर रहे हो, वो plagiarism है. किसी और का if you're using words and ideas of other person without giving credit, that is plagiarism. Not using quotation mark, that is plagiarism. Giving incorrect information about the cited sources, that is also plagiarism. Copying such large amount of ideas or words that the majority is not yours, that is also called plagiarism. So all this considered plagiarism. So plagiarism may be, generally it can be accidentally or deliberately. So in accidental plagiarism is means what? Not knowing when and how to cite. This is the genuine reason people are giving that I'm not aware about how to cite it. Then not knowing how to paraphrase or summarize. Again, people are saying that I don't know, that's why I copied. I don't know how to paraphrase. I don't know how to summarize. Then not knowing that what common knowledge is. Yes, people बोलते हैं कि हम लोग ने कॉपी कर लिया, इसको कॉमन नॉलेज बोल रहे थे, इसके लिए कॉपी कर लिया, बट इट इज नॉट अ कॉमन, इट इज नॉट फॉल अंडर द कॉमन नॉलेज. देन अगेन इट इज अ plagiarism. ये तो बहुत हो रहा है, रिसाइक्लिंग ऑफ ओल्ड पेपर. यस, I had written one paper and the same paper is published again and again by changing the title. That is also called a plagiarism. That may be accidental plagiarism. The another part, that may be a deliberate. जानबूझ के करने वाले भी लोग हैं. Rewrite from books or articles, just copy कर रहे. Otherwise, copying and pasting from web pages. Yes, they are doing that. Patchwork writing, buying, downloading, or borrowing a paper. Yes, this is happening. Not only in India, in all over the world, people are buying the papers, downloading the papers, and borrowing the papers, and then publishing on their own name. So such type of acts are happening in the academic, not only in the academic community, in the research community. So what is not plagiarism? Please use the quotation. Yes, whenever you are using another's works, please use the quotations. In bibliographic, reference, table of contents, preference, and acknowledgement, there is no plagiarism. If you are using generic terms, law, standard symbol, and standard equation, there is no plagiarism. Exclude common knowledge or coincidental terms up to 14 consecutive words. Yes, in that time, it is not considered as plagiarism. So whenever you are using quotation mark, that's fine. Reference, bibliographic, table of content, preference, and acknowledgement, plagiarism count नहीं किया जाता है. Generic terms, laws, standard symbols, and standard equation, if you are using, there is no plagiarism. Exclude common knowledge. अगर वो common knowledge में है, then definitely there is not plagiarism. So basically, whenever I'm having a session, so I check with the students, I check with my colleagues, what they give the excuses. My teacher expect too much, my guides expect too much. That's why I'm copying. I have to get into a certain college. That's why I copied. It's okay now if I didn't get caught. If I don't get caught, it's okay. अरे सब तो कर रहे हैं, everyone does it. That's why I'm also doing. My parents expect A+. So all such requests, all such excuses are getting from the research community or from the students, that due to this we are doing the plagiarism. This is not good, my dear friend. It is not really good. It will be creating a problem for you in future. It will be creating problem for you in future. Then common type of plagiarism. What are the different types of plagiarism which is applicable in terms of academic ethical writings? What are they? Clone, submitting another's work word for word as your own. This is the first type of plagiarism. It is called as a clone. किसी और का काम आप publish कर रहे हो word to word, right? Second, Control C. Yes, very important functions in computer, my dear friends, in IT. Yes, Control C and Control V. Contains significant portion, yes, of text from a single source without alteration. Without alteration, you're copying. Yes, that is called Control C. And the next one is find and replace. We are very smart. We are just changing the keywords and phrases, but retaining the essential content of the source. So this is also considered as a one type of plagiarism. Find and replace. We will change with the synonyms. We will change with the words. This is also called it as a find and replace plagiarism. Then remix. यस, ये तो रिमिक्स का जमाना चल रहा है, और एक रिमिक्स आ गया, पैराफ्रेज फ्रॉम द मल्टीपल सोर्सेज मेड इट टू फिट टुगेदर। सब जगह से उठा उठा के मैंने पैराफ्रेज करके मेरा पेपर बना लिया, दैट इज आल्सो कॉल्ड एज अ राइट। द फिफ्थ टाइप इज रिसाइकल। मेरे पास खुद के पास 25-30 पेपर थे, I had my own 25 to 30 papers. From there, I am again just taking some part from one paper and publishing another paper. That is called recycle. Yes, borrows generously from the writer's previous work without citation. मैं citation नहीं दे रहा हूँ, लेकिन use कर रहा हूँ. That is called as a recycle. It's all are the different types of plagiarism. So till now we had covered 5 different types of plagiarism. There are 5 more. Hybrid, combined perfectly cited sources. I will give perfect citation with copied passage without citation. Yes, perfect citation दूंगा लेकिन कुछ copy नहीं करूंगा उसमें. This is also called as a hybrid plagiarism. Then mashup, mixes copied material from the multiple sources. सब जगह से copy करके रख दूंगा. That is called as mashup. This is called as mashup. The 8th one, 404, includes citation to non-existing or inaccurate information about the sources. वो citation available ही नहीं है, but आपके paper में है. It means you are giving wrong information about the citation. It is called 404 error. It is called 404 error. Then aggregator, include proper citation to sources, but the paper contain almost no original work. Citation proper है, लेकिन paper में कुछ भी use नहीं किया उसमें से जो cited किया है. That is called aggregator. And the last type of the types of citation may be retweet, includes proper citation, but relies too closely on the original holding and or structure. बहुत closely हम लोग ने copy कर लिया, citation दे दिया, then also it is called as a retweet. So all these are different types of plagiarism which is there. So how much types of plagiarism we had covered? We had covered near about 10. First one is clone. The second one is Control C. If someone doesn't understand a specific type of plagiarism, they can check with me right now. Then find and replace. Then remix. Recycle, yes. Hybrid, yes. Mashup, yes. 404 error, yes. Aggregator, and the last one is retweet. So these are the different types of plagiarism which is there. And whenever you are doing, writing a research paper, you have to be careful and you should know all such types of plagiarism is there. Okay. Plagiarism and internet, yes, WW play a very important role, not only in terms of providing only information, but we are in the information explosion. So in this information explosion, this thing can be happen. So Bill Gates, who is a very well-known personality in the IT, has also expressed his views on plagiarism as an intellectual property theft. The theft of intellectual property with the use of computers and internet is on the rise in contemporary time. In this internet, plagiarism can be happen in 3 ways: stealing with the web, yes, stealing within the web, and stealing from the web. Stealing with the web, stealing within the web, and stealing from the web. So if you're taking anything from the web also, and if you're not giving citation, if you're not quoting citation, then there is a called plagiarism. So there may be a thumb rule. Yes, how we can avoid plagiarism? There is a thumb rule. You have to write from the scratch. Yes, when you start this habit, then there will be no issue for you. The second one, use quotation marks. Yes, if you're using anyone else works, use quotation marks. Then the third strategy, paraphrase and summarize. You should know the skills of paraphrase and summarize from the others' work. Then you have to provide complete citations. Yeah. You should also know when to cite. Agree. And when you're writing, you should keep a tab of the sources from where you are taking. Right. You should know different types of plagiarism which we had covered just now. Then you should also know which plagiarism checker is available with your institute. You should check your paper with them. You should find out what type of percentage your error is there. You should take a precaution to minimize that. And in last, you should seek advice from your professor, from your guide, which will be helpful for you. So there are many times it happens. Everyone saying, I know everything, but there are certain things we don't know. So some of the things that you think you know about plagiarism may be wrong. Yes, there are certain things which we will highlight right now. Alive or dead, it doesn't matter. If it is not yours, your own idea, you must cite your sources. वो बंदा जिंदा हो या गुजर गया होगा, अगर आपने किसी और से लिया है, तो you have to cite it. It means alive or dead, it doesn't matter. If it is not your own idea, you must cite your sources. Then paraphrasing also requires a citation. If you translate or paraphrase something, you must still give a citation. You may have been told that if you put something into your own words, you need not cite. This is incorrect. The material is still someone else's idea and requires acknowledgement. It means paraphrase is also required the citation. Then, sorry, you can't use someone else's paper, art, work, or presentation without proper citation, even if he gave you permission. Of course, your instruction may not want someone else's paper as your own, even with proper citation. It means if that person is also giving the permission, still you need to give the proper citation. Then only it can be avoided. Otherwise, you will catch up from your professor. Free. What about all that free stuff people put on the web? Can you use that? No, free means economically free. You don't have to pay for it. The free stuff has a specific use and can only be used free for the intent use. If you use the words graphics or ideas, you must give a citation. You must give a citation. Sir, एक second, हमारा call आला important है.
Yes, sir.
शिव कुमार सर, call करूँ station. So if there is anything on the free on the internet, no, free means economically free it is. You don't have to pay for it. The free stuff has a specific use and can only be used free for the intent use. If you're using the words graphics or idea, you must give a citation. So friends, believe me, you have to be very careful in terms of plagiarism. That remember, yes, people are purchasing the paper from the web. Remember, if you can find it, so can your professor. अगर आपको मिल रहा है पे करके तो प्रोफेसर को पता नहीं चलेगा सोर्सेस कहाँ पे. So there are many sites that will sell you an essay or term paper presenting this material as your own. It is plagiarism. Some of the papers for sale sites do have a disclaimer saying that you must cite their work. So whenever you are using another work, there is a landmark rule that you have to cite. You have to give the citation. The lectures by our professors are protected by the copyright laws. If you use their ideas, you must give them credit. To not do this, so is plagiarism. If you're not doing that, then there is a issue of plagiarism. Right? Common knowledge consists of information that is easily observed. Yes. Commonly reported facts. Yes. Common sayings. Common knowledge does not need to be cited, but be sure that what you are using really is a common knowledge. When you are in doubt, ask your instructor or a librarian to clarify the doubts. If it is in the common knowledge, it is very much defined, then you can use without citation. But if you have a doubt, then you should check with your instructor or a librarian whether it is a common knowledge or it is you have to quote it. So when all these things are going out, UGC had come up regulations. Yes, UGC in its 30th meeting held on 20th March 2018 considered and approved the UGC promotion of academic integrity and prevention of plagiarism in HEI, Higher Education Institutions Regulation 2018. This regulation have been notified in the official gazette on 31st July 2018. Yes, 17 तक सब चल गया, but 18 के बाद 31 जुलाई 18 के बाद गले पे छुरी आ गई. Yes, of course, there are some people who are taking care of that. If someone is plagiarism, then there will be a punishment for that. There is a system, there is a regulation, there is a legal framework. So you have to be very careful. So objective of this UGC regulation, what are the core objective of this UGC regulations? Creating awareness about the plagiarism. Yes. Prevention of misconduct. Yes. Establishing an institutional mechanism. Promotion of academic integrity. Prevention of plagiarism. Setting up a system for catching plagiarism. So these are the very core important objective of the UGC regulation. Awareness, creating awareness, prevention of misconduct, establishing an institutional mechanism, promotion of academic integrity, prevention of plagiarism, setting up a system for catching plagiarism. So definition under UGC regulation, the definition which is defined plagiarism in UGC regulation in section 2, subsection 1 of the UGC regulation. Plagiarism means the practice of taking someone else's work. It is a practice of taking someone else's work, yes, or ideas and passing them as own one. So according to UGC, the definition may be plagiarism means the practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them as own. So be careful. If you are using, then there will be a problem. So in UGC regulations, they had defined the script, research paper, thesis, study project, report, assignment, dissertation, or any other such work submitted for assessment or opinion leading to the award of a degree or publication in print or electronic media by student or faculty or staff of an institution. So this is called script in UGC regulation. As per the regulation, exam scripts are exempted. As per the regulation, exam scripts are exempted, but others, research paper, thesis, study project, report, assignment, dissertation, all such type of are covered under the script. Then, where it is restricted, yes, it is. This regulation is restricted to higher education institution. What are they? Universities or any institution that has been declared by the Parliament to be a national importance, or institute that provide certification, education certification after education of 12 years of schooling and which provides degree or diploma. So all such institutions are covered in higher education institute, university or any institute that has been declared by the Parliament to be national importance, or an institution that provide educating after 12 years of schooling and which provides degree or diplomas. So duties of HEI. Duties of HEI. What are the duties of higher education institutes? Establish a mechanism. Yes, they need to establish a mechanism for what? For spreading awareness. To organize seminars. For whom? Students, faculty, and other members, for creating awareness. Then academic ethics should be incorporated where? In the coursework of graduate and postgraduate. Agree? Then what? For what? Research and publication in ethics should be incorporated in the coursework of PhD and MPhil. Another important duties of HEI, provide training. Yes, regarding the plagiarism detection, we need to provide trainings. And then again, the last important duties of HEI, that is establish facilities for checking plagiarism. They need to provide facilities to the student, to the faculty to check the plagiarism. So what are the exempted? Yes, UGC regulation had certain exemption for which it can plagiarism can be exempted. For the quoted works, yes, for reference, table of contents, preface, knowledge, acknowledgement, and bibliography. These all are exempted. Even standard equations and symbols, laws, and generic terms is also exempted. So whenever you are using quoted works, it is exempted. Similar content, minor one, it is exempted. Reference, table of contents, preface, acknowledgement, and bibliography, and standard equation, symbols, laws, and generic terms, that can be also exempted. So zero tolerance in the UGC regulation. Yeah, there are certain areas where UGC regulation had mentioned there is a zero tolerance, and the core areas are the hypothesis. Yes, the hypothesis of the dissertation, then the recommendations, the recommendation from the researcher, the abstract of the paper or of the thesis, the summary, the conclusion, the results, and observations. All these are where zero tolerance policy is there. If there is one person also, then there will be a problem. So which are these areas? Hypothesis, recommendation, abstract, summary, conclusion, results, and observations. Then in UGC regulations, they had given a level of plagiarism, level of up to 10% it can be excluded. Yes, but between 10 to 40%, they will charge you level 1. From 40 to 60%, they will charge you level 2, and above 60%, they will charge you level 3. So this is not quantified anywhere, but it is quantified in regulation. So UGC regulation, detection and reporting, how it can detect and report, they have to create, according to the UGC regulations, HE have to create what? Departmental Academic Integrity Panel, DAP, DAIP, which will investigate the matter and submit its recommendation to IAIP. What is IAIP? Institutional Academic Integrity Panel of the HEI. So this is the way how UGC regulation work for detection and reporting. So UGC regulation penalty in case of plagiarism, the level which we had already described. For the PhD student, up to 10%, no penalty. For faculty, up to 10%, no penalty. For PhD students, up to from 10 to 40%. Revision of script within 6 months. For faculty, from 10 to 40% has to withdraw the manuscript. For PhD student level, from 40 to 60% can't submit revised script for 1 year. For PhD faculty 40 to 60% no supervision power for 2 years. For PhD student, over 60% cancellation of registration. And in case of faculty, no supervision power for 3 years. So these are the penalties in case of plagiarism as defined in UGC regulation. Suppose there may be case where HEI is involved in terms of plagiarism. Is there a way to handle HEI? Yes. If the head of the NHEI is accused of plagiarism, then the guidelines have provided that appropriate action shall be taken by the concerned authority. There will be appropriate action can be taken by the concerned authority. So contents to be checked under UGC regulation. What are the contents can be checked under the UGC regulation? Research paper, yes. Thesis, yes. Chaptering books, yes. Any other similar work, yes. Full-fledged books, yes. Dissertation, yes. So all these contents need to be checked under UGC regulations. So how you can avoid plagiarism? Strategy to avoid plagiarism: quite simply cite your sources, document where you got your information from using in-text citation and a bibliography. The another strategy: quote, paraphrase, and summarize. You can quote it. You can paraphrase. Provide a detailed statement of a single main idea using your own idea. Summarize. Include the main idea of sourcing using your own. And this way we can avoid plagiarism by using such strategies. So there are certain famous plagiarism cases in India, which we will go through it. Not there are many, but at least 5 to 6, which is really important. So I will just highlight 5 plagiarized articles on Indian Foundation website. According to a report published in Logical Indian, May 10, 2018, 5 articles there on the Indian Foundation website are not original, instead plagiarized. The shocking fact is that this right think tank website has an association with big names such as Nirmala Sitharaman, Swapna Das Gupta, MG Akbar, and others. So this has happened very recently in 2018. Indian Foundation website found 5 articles where there is a plagiarism. Then chemistry professor accused of plagiarism, more than 70 articles. Yes, University Executive Council of Sri Venkateshwara University banned the chemistry professor for accusing of plagiarism, not just 1 or 2 papers, but almost 70 of them. Almost all these research papers were published between 2004 to 2007. The institution banned the professor from taking any research guidance along with the upcoming examination work. So be aware, this type of punishment can be available if someone got caught. Kavya Vishwanathan was accused of plagiarism for her debut novel. Harvard student came up with her debut novel, How Opal Mehta Got Kissed, Got Wild and Got a Life, only to face a several accusation of plagiarism. Scholar accused her of a lifting section from Supply First and Second Helpings. Written by Megan McCarthy in the year 2006 in Harvard Crimson, the university newsletter there was a publication of the lifting ideas. Now the charges almost ended the career of this author. Because of these charges, that author's career is went gone. Then Stanford University wrote to our late APJ Abdul Kalam about Professor Rajput plagiarism. In the year 2002, in October, late Sri President APJ Abdul Kalam received a letter from the Stanford University. The letter claimed that physicist Professor B.S. Rajput has bluntly copied from other sources. One of the signatories of this letter was Renata College. Yes. So again, there was an inquiry, and then the punishments went for that professor. Then plagiarism accusation against Dr. Sangliani Gurunathan and his group. In November-December 2010 edition of the Biotechnology Advances Journal brought out a notice that accused the Gurunathan group and his group of plagiarism, an article on division of molecular and cellular biology. Kaisalingam University, the accusation led to the retraction of the paper from the journal. They have to withdraw the paper when it is proved that it is a plagiarism. Then Delhi University Vice Chancellor cases. In 2012 in India, former Delhi University Vice Chancellor Deepak Pantal was put in jail. Pantal was put in jail for allegation that he plagiarized a colleague research. So such type of, punishment is there. So friends, be aware about the plagiarism. A jokes apart, this paper sounds a little like the article we read last week. Well, what can I say? Great minds think alike. So this is a jokes apart. You take it as a joke. So anti-plagiarism software, what are they? Anti-plagiarism software, what is anti-plagiarism? Software that searches the web for duplicate textual content. It may be a standalone program installed in the user computer or a function of a website. Anti-plagiarism software tool cannot stop or prevent the plagiarism. Find, detect the sources of content which are matching. So there are certain software tools which is available in the market to prevent from the unethical copying. So detection of plagiarism, see, both are have the same words. They are plagiarizing the content, but who is? So this is the magic played by the software tools. They will catch from where you had taken this context. So we'll just check detection of plagiarism. Of course, it was difficult in the print area, but technology made it easier. Yes, technology made it easier. Even search engine can easily find it. Even search engine can easily detect it. Free and commercial tools available for detection. There are free and commercial tools which is available for the detection purpose. So free and open access tools, what are they? Duplicate checker, Perpirator, Plagiarisma, Plagium, CopyLeaks, Plagitracker, Scan, Plagiarism checker. So these are all free and open source tools which is available in the www domain. Then what are the paid tools? Grammarly, Turnitin, Urkun, plagiarismdetection.org and Authenticate. So Grammarly, I had taken a live demo from the Grammarly. I had used one paragraph which was copied from the web and I had checked the plagiarism report. I got that it is 100% your text matches the sources, and they had mentioned here the sources from where it is copied. So this is the demo from the Grammarly. So another important tool which is from the paid sources, that is Turnitin, web-based tools, detection tools, find and indicate matching contents, generate reports that shows how much document is original, cited from the other sources or unoriginal. It is used by more than 30 million students at 15,000 institutes in 150 countries, right? So what are the coverage from where? Turnitin search the content, Springer, EBSCOhost, Procase, Theme, Elsevier, Medline, Sage, Crossrefs, and OEP, Oxford University Press. Features of Turnitin: easy to submit, yes. Find and get source of the matching content, yes. Instant receipt of submission, you will get the instant receipt of submission. Then feedback through the same interface, yes, it is available. Useful for checking reference before submission. It is very useful for checking reference before submission. Then how the Turnitin works? It is works on a color theme, how much is it copied and how much it is ethical. If there is a blue contents, then that means no matching text. If it is green, one word 24% matching. If it is yellow, 25 to 49 matching text, 25 to 49%. If it is orange, 50 to 74 matching text, and if it is red, 75 to 100% matching text. So this way they will create the report for your reference. So you should know what type of color it resembles for what type of how much type of copying is there. Subscription plans, consortium, institutions, departmental, individual. Yes, they offer you different types of subscription plans. First one is consortium, institutions, department, and individual, right? Then Turnitin access level, administrator, instructor, student. This type of access is available in the Turnitin. Administrator level is available, instructor level is available, student level is available, right? Then evaluation of Crossref and Turnitin. Turnitin is proud of our long-standing partnership with Crossref, one of the world's most prominent membership association for scholarly publisher. For the past 11 years, the partnership between Turnitin and Crossref has grown, has matured to make it easier for researchers, authors, and publishers to publish their best work with confidence. This is called teamwork. So evaluation of Crossref and Turnitin, there are two primary aspects. First is Crossref members have the option to license Authenticate, which offers similar check. More than 15,000 members use similar check to screen incoming manuscript from plagiarism and other misconduct concerns. This means when authors use Authenticate to review manuscript prior to submission, they are in fact using the same software as publisher. So if their manuscripts are passes through the muster, they can comfortably knowing that publisher will not uncover any potential plagiarism concern that the author was not made aware of. UGC also come up with the self-plagiarism notice. Yes, according to UGC public notice, which is dated 28th April 2020, it is on the self-plagiarism, reproducing, text recycling or self-plagiarism without proper adequate citation and proper acknowledgement is not acceptable. So don't do self-plagiarism. Recently, UGC published a notification in its website regarding the increasing number of self-plagiarism. Under this notification, plagiarism work from academic do not acquire any credibility or value in the evaluation. What is text recycling? Text reproduction. Text recycling is self-plagiarism without adequate citation or proper acknowledgement. This is called text recycling. So highlights of this UGC self-plagiarism notification: republishing the same paper, publishing smaller except from work from a longer and previous work, reusing data already used in published work, breaking up larger study, replacing one or previously published work without due and full citation. If you're all doing this, then that will be called as a self-plagiarism. So UGC public notice on self-plagiarism dated 20th April 2020. Still, there are many questions arising regarding this notification. Soon, UGC will be issuing a set of parameters to evaluate instead of text recycling self-plagiarism. So to beat the plagiarism, in the conclusion, I would like to tell you, you need to cite, you need to take the note taking. Yes, from the original article, you can note take and quote the citation. You can quoting and you can paraphrasing. If it's still from one author, just take it as a joke. If it's still from the one author, it is called as a plagiarism. If it's still from the many articles, it is called as a research. So if there is any questions, I am ready to answer your questions. Before that, I would like to thank Lokesh sir, Vice Principal of this center, Nashik, and Professor Dr. Sandeep Bhavsa, librarian from the Wellington Institute of Management, Mumbai, and all the participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was obviously a very informative session, and many things we have tried to cover. So, participants, do you have any questions to be asked? So one of the point which I recently came to know was when we check the plagiarism on the free softwares which are available online, and if we download the report, our original content becomes plagiarized. So is it correct thing?
Yes, sometimes it happens because even in my case also, generally I don't go regularly checking the plagiarism. First, I'll make sure that at least only twice I will check it before final submission. So I also avoid such type of. Basically, what software do, they copy your contents and they put it on the web. So generally, it is totally on working on artificial intelligence base. They are not checking word by word from the printed sources. So this can be happen, and this is the disadvantage of certain softwares.
Okay.
So for the safer side, we have to write the paper on our own. We have to check it, and once you're very much sure, and at last you can check, you can give a 1 or 2 chances of check, and then you can submit it. This is my own personal opinion.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Yes. Any other question from anyone? Yes, I request our Jayashree ma'am to kindly propose a formal vote of thanks. She is our research cell head. Yes, Jayashree ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for a wonderful and very informative session. I, Assistant Professor Jayashree Darade, would like to extend my gratitude to Honorable Chairman, sir, Mr. Ashokji Kataria, AEF Director Dr. DM Gujarati, Administrator Dr. NR Telrande, and Principal Dr. Harsha Patil ma'am for their support, guidance, and motivation for planning of the session. From the entire fraternity of ACBCS, Ashoka Center for Business and Computer Studies, I am grateful to Mr. Prahlad Jadhav sir for accepting our invitation, for being resource person for the session on plagiarism. I would like to express our heartfelt thanks for the valuable guidance you have provided to our faculties about the copyright and plagiarism in detail. And thanks for explaining the UGC regulations about plagiarism, which we are not knowing. Thanks for explaining the strategies to avoid plagiarism and some websites like Grammarly and Turnitin, which we can use for checking the plagiarism. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I thank Mr. Lokesh Surana, sir, for arranging such a nice session and a research cell. I thank all the faculty members who have attended the session. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Prahlad, sir, once again.
Yes, ma'am. So we can declare the session is over.
Yeah, thank you.